Welcome to Roll for Crit. I'm Will Keeler.
I'm Jonathan Estes, and as you can see, we've switched things up a little bit this week.
Yeah, we're changing things up for our shows to continue later on. We cleaned up the place. We also new chairs, very comfy.
And a table.
Ooh, yeah.
It is our 51st episode, which is kind of a milestone. We just recently passed our 1 year. So we're taking things in a different direction. We're going a little more casual this time around. So we're still going to cover the news. We're still going to talk about Kickstarters. We're still going to talk about whatever stuff board game related comes to mind. Just a little less structured, a little more conversational is our idea. And
So come sit down and join us.
yeah, as you watch, feel free to comment and let us know what you think, if you have suggestions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And also, we got new mics for the first time in a while. So
yeah, the last one's broke very early
so
on.
hopefully we sound crystal clear to you guys. If not, it's our first time, so they'll probably need a little bit of tweaking. But other than that, we can just get into our news stories. We're just gonna stroll through it.
And Jonathan here has a lovely new invention itself.
The Kindle Fire, available now, Amazon.com. It's not the latest version. I'm nervous. I feel like we haven't done this before. It's weird. Okay.
Well, in a way, we haven't.
In a way, we haven't. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff. We're going to cover a bunch of stuff today.
Okay.
Ready for a bunch of stuff?
All right, bring it.
So first up, the Daily Worker Placement, which is a board game site with a clever name, had an article about they visited Seattle, and apparently it's just a haven in terms of board games. They have board game cafes, they have board game stores, and they went to a bunch of them, and they have reports and stuff like that, and their experiences. Who knew? You ever been to Seattle?
I have not.
Well, you're from California, which is right next to Seattle.
That's true, and I've gone to Oregon. I've driven up the old class trip up to Oregon, but I didn't make it to Washington. But first, I have to comment on the fact
right
that
next to it.
The way you said, what was the name of the website?
The Daily Worker
The
Placement.
Daily Worker Placement. When you first said it, the way you said it, it was like, the Daily Worker Placement. Why didn't we think of that?
Right?
Like, that was your tone. Second, I'm not surprised, because I don't know why, but in my head, Seattle just seems like the perfect place. Maybe it's because it's always raining, so you're never really out. It's a big city area, but it's also not such a mecca, I don't know, for everything like New York City. That's hard to focus on one thing, kind of thing.
Yeah, it seems yeah, you're right. Like the best place for board games are like up when I got to visit Toronto, where the Snakes and Lattes is. Like it's the perfect kind of city that isn't just like crazy, but it's big enough that there's people around to play with. Yeah, I think that's a good environment.
We'll have to check out the place.
Yeah, we'll have to make our next trip to Seattle someday. Probably not. What else? There's a preview of new Descent pack, which it seems like there's a new one that they show like every other month, and I never know which one is which. This one has manticores in it.
Really?
Yeah, it has warriors and manticores.
Oh man.
Decor. Our problem is I can't get excited about Descent stuff because we never get a chance to play it. So it's like, great, another expansion we'll never have time to use.
Well, even then, it's like, because we'll eventually get through the scenario. Just the base will be like, okay, we're done.
Right. Yeah. This is a monster pack, so it's not like a new quests or anything. Yeah, but I don't know. Manticores are pretty cool. There's an interesting story. Wizards of the Coast had a thing about. Apparently, I didn't even know this. Although I've read through most of it, the Dungeon Master's Guide for 5th edition D&D has options for alien tech. I think you saw that too.
Yeah. I mean, you are our DM in our game.
Yeah.
So you would know more than I.
I don't.
So like, how would that work? Would that be you happen to find a ray gun or something?
Yeah, I guess. My guess is it's probably more like we could get a copy from the back, but we won't. More like you found a glowing stone or something like that, like as opposed to.
I want to find the ray gun, the same one used in Fallout. Also, I want to find an astronaut who crash landed there from Earth.
Wow, you have a lot of demands, but I will include them in our next campaign.
I know you're willing to do them because their next campaign will never happen.
That's right. Whatever you say, I will promise it to you. But they went through like a history of all of these old D&D modules from the 70s and onward that had sci-fi stuff. I don't know, because we haven't done, we're still getting our feet wet with the role-playing stuff, but sci-fi is definitely, like I see that the Star Wars and the Firefly RPGs, and I want to dig into that.
Well, no, I think that's not the part that's interesting to focus on here. At least it's the...
Basically, I don't want to hear
Well, no, that's cool, but like the thing that really intrigues me about this is the idea that...
Mixing the two.
Yeah, like it's weird. I don't know why it's weird in my head to imagine just a bunch of warriors and all of a sudden just finding a crashed UFO. But how is that any different than a bunch of people in the middle of the Utah desert finding a UFO?
That's true. Actually, that's like the coolest thing, because like remember... I mean, the movie sucked, but Cowboys and Aliens? It was such a great idea, though, that the mix, when the genres mix like that, it is like, what if there, or not, I said Cowboys and Aliens, right?
Yeah.
What if there were aliens in cowboy times? What if there were aliens in mythical, like in Tolkien? What if, like, in Lord of the Rings, there was a chapter where Frodo goes to outer space? I don't know.
What if all of a sudden a facehugger gets on him and then an alien has the one ring to rule them all?
No, I mean, and especially after you've had, 8 bajillion stories of fantasy, freshening things up like that is pretty awesome.
It's very interesting, and I could see it come out really well. Problem is, I can also see it really sort of taking you out of said fantasy.
Speaking of, this is perfect. This is the best segue we've ever had.
Oh, man.
Mixing fantasy and other genres, sci-fi, one might say. They announced the launch date for the new Zombicide, Black Plague, which we talked about already. Oh, not launch, sorry, launch date for the Kickstarter.
Right.
So it goes up June 8th. So
we talked about, that was the one when you actually play as sort of medieval.
Yeah, you can have like orcs or whatever, or you can be like a wizard and stuff, but you're fighting zombies, which is cool. Still cool. Still coming out June 8th. No new info, just...
That one isn't as much because there's still at least I think zombies still technically exist within the medieval...
That's true. Necromancers and
but
stuff.
never as a zombie outbreak, which we see in modern times. Which is an interesting concept because thinking about like one of the big things that zombies work, I think, well in our time. In fact, first of all, there are so many people compared to then.
That's true, yeah.
And, we see them all the time. I mean, you walk into a city, you just see crowds of people.
Well, that can be cool, like...
But in medieval, that would be... Well, then you throw in orcs and stuff, like... Yeah. Actually, that's something in Magic the Gathering.
Zomborks?
I love it whenever there's, like, a zombie dragon, or in the last set, they're dragon lords, and one of them, his whole thing was he pretty much turns everyone into zombies and, like, collects them. So, like, one was a zombie djinn. And he's like, and the flavor text is, he takes great pride in his unique collection of zombies and stuff. Yeah,
it's terrifying and cool.
Well, no, his head advisor was someone he killed off to be a zombie.
Well, did you play the Red Dead Redemption zombie expansion?
I did, then I stopped. Not because I didn't like it, but I just,
But that's sort of the same thing where it's just like, there's a lot less people around, but it's cool to see, like, he's riding a horse zombie or whatever. Yeah, it's always cool to see this.
So. Yeah, I think that would be really cool, and the alien thing could work out really well. And going back to the
right,
I mean, it depends on what your campaign's like. What I would do is, like you said, you found an orb, but like you wouldn't find too much. Like you can't find. I wouldn't want to do a whole scenario when you're not also becomes XCOM.
Yeah.
Like the knights have gone through the UFO.
Because then, why don't you just play a sci-fi game? You want to just pepper it up a little bit.
Well, because I think it just gives you that. Sort of the X-Files kind of feeling, like you want to believe, like there's something out there.
Right. You want it to be season 1 of Lost, not season 6 of Lost.
I did not get past.
That's okay. I like season 6 of Lost. Anyway, more good news.
More?
Yeah, there's so much more. That Munchkin game. Munchkin Treasure
I heard it's
Hunt.
losing the Toys R Us exclusive.
That's right. This is the people who don't know, basically the kids version of Munchkin, but it's a board game. Yeah, in October, it's going to be widely available. So I assume that means we'll be able to sell it too.
Hopefully, Amiibos will catch on with that as well.
We're going to be able to sell Amiibos?
No, I mean just in general with exclusiveness.
Yeah, no one ever likes exclusives.
Good luck to everyone, because when this episode goes up, it will be after the Amiibo Black Friday. So good luck to anyone who actually was able to get their Amiibos.
Yeah, well, good post luck. We're saying good luck to you now. You didn't get it. We're sorry. You didn't get anything. But that's, I don't know, it's kind of cool.
No, it's,
It looks fun.
I mean, I like the idea of keeping it exclusive for a while because it still draws to the store, which is what the point of exclusive.
Yeah.
But it doesn't permanently ruin.
It makes sense, and they had it for a while. It's been out for a year or so.
About a year, yeah, I think that. I mean, and Munchkins. I mean, it makes sense though for Toys R Us to have that game.
Yeah, it was a good fit.
Yeah.
I almost wanted to get a copy just because it was exclusive, just because I thought it was kind of neat to have.
Well, see, that's the beauty of the word exclusive.
Right. It's like, it's too bad I don't have any kids. I'll just go down to the park and find some kids to play with. I'll ask their parents first. I'll be like, listen, I have this kids game, but I don't have any kids of my own. Would you mind?
Oh my god!
I guess I could just become like a babysitter.
Oh, you're going to become a babysitter so you can play this board game with the. And
literally-
then they're gonna be like, no, I'm playing Angry Birds.
It's a good idea.
And then you're just gonna be, give me your phone. Give me your phone.
Yeah,
you all lose phone privileges. Now play this board game with me.
We're playing Munchkin, the digital version. I don't think there is a digital Munchkin.
Oh god.
Anyway, that's a good topic. Let's talk about a real game. This is a real game. So you and I both were excited for the new Versus, not an LCG, and let's not. I don't want to get into that because we've been over it before. Mm-hmm. But Upper Deck is making this new LCG style card game that is actually based on an old game.
Similar to an ECG.
There you go. They're calling it something else. They have
so they have their own term?
They're calling it, and because they just released, it's coming out of Gen Con, and they just released like some new details.
Okay.
They are calling it Versus System 2PCG. I just heard Ivan behind the camera like lose his mind. It's the number 2 PCG.
2-player card game?
Right? Maybe. Great question.
It turns out it doesn't actually stand for anything. They just took some letters and put it together.
I actually don't see, maybe this is in like an earlier update, I don't see a place where they actually say what it means. Leave a comment and let us know. But the important thing is, so we kind of played the game, the original. We had a
hold on.
Yeah.
When we say original, we're talking about the LCG version, not the old Versus system, which was in packs and cards.
From what I understand, though, the package we got was largely repackaged cards from the earlier sets with basically the same rule sets. And I do remember it was kind of, there was some stuff that confused us. Of course, this was at Gen Con, we were very tired.
Yeah.
But the new thing is they're streamlining everything, which is pretty much...
so can we actually use the Versus cards from the old set?
That I don't know. I don't know.
It does say Versus LCG on the back of those, I'm pretty sure.
So probably not. And I'm guessing, I don't know if they redesigned the fronts, but the fronts of the cards were pretty retro looking.
Oh, which is funny because you also have legendary promos.
Oh, that looks like
those.
That. Right. So yeah, they're a little mixed message. But I think the biggest thing that's interesting is you now will have a main character that is your guy that you protect, and if he dies, you lose.
Okay, so this sound, at least in my head, it sounds a bit more like Cultist, Commander in Magic the Gathering, and Force of Will. We're starting to see this trend in trading card games when it's not you, the planeswalker, the mastermind, whatever word you'd like to use, controlling the armies. You actually have the commander on the field.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I think that's at least
only this time it's Captain America or whoever.
Right. I like that a lot. First of all, it's more board game-ish. There's a lot of board games we can think of when you have your character with
that's
the weird
true.
ability. But in this kind of style, it's really cool because in Commander a lot more. You built usually around your character. Sometimes you just did it because of the color. But for example, my favorite deck, her whole thing is when she attacks, she puts Dragon and Angel or Demon to play. So like literally, you're designing the deck just for her.
Right.
And then Force of Will takes it up another notch, in which if it's more like this one because if you summon it, and the opponent kills it, you lose it. It can't be resummoned. It's done, and you lose all the abilities on the reverse side. So it's sort of a much bigger gamble. And now, this one is literally...
That's it.
That's it. That's game over.
Yeah.
So I think depending on how these whether they do big cards, I hope it's bigger cards. I always love that nice big card.
Yeah, I don't know if it's different actual cards or if it's just you pick a guy you like.
Oh, that would be...
No, actually, it is different because your main characters actually can level up. they actually have 2 levels, and mid-game they can level up and gain new powers and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is. They should make them different. You're right, or at least as promos, that'd be cool.
Well, no, because I think they'll have their own thing, and I think it'll be really cool then, because then it could be like, well, it makes a reason to build like different decks. You could be, for you, for example, you'll most likely have a Spider-Man deck.
Yeah.
Wait, what are the properties they said they had?
Well, as far as I know, the launch is just gonna be Marvel. At least from what I know.
Yeah,
in the old days, they had DC, and I'm not sure what else they had. But
didn't they say some other things? No, I mean not past like with this one. I could have sworn like
Well,
Firefly or something?
Upper Deck has the license to Firefly.
Oh, I thought it was...
So it's very possible that they might put that in.
But, like, for example, I'll probably have my own deck for maybe... You know, I'll probably make a Venom deck just because you're making Spider-Man.
Carnage, Kingpin,
like,
something.
But that's the cool... Like, we'll each have our deck for characters, and that could be really fun. Yeah. And then maybe you'll want to build a deck, for example, not just what's best for character, maybe, like, thematically. For example, if there's a Deadpool card, you're going to look, which I'm sure my brother will make, you're going to look for every single card that just brings chaos to the field. Yeah. You're just looking to be the weirdest person around.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to buying it again now that it's finished, as opposed to buying the preview copy.
I want to go when we go buy it to wear the old Versus shirts we got with the first set, just so we can be like...
Can I actually bring my copy and be like, listen, can I just exchange this? You made me buy this, and it's worthless now.
And no, it's like a collectible. It's a rarity.
It is. It sure is. In the next month, we need to play it as much as possible to make it worth it. Gen Con is soon. It is coming up very. I guess it's still 2 months away.
Well, compared for us, yeah.
It feels like it's right around the corner. I think there was one more interesting thing we could discuss. Oh well, there's this thing about Scrabble. Okay, so there's a game called Scramble, made by Zynga, who makes Word with Friends. I thought they were the same game. It's a different game.
Completely different.
Yes, Scramble. I'd never heard of it. It's basically multiplayer Boggle, sort of.
Okay.
But they were in a lawsuit with Mattel. Guess why? Because it sounds a lot like Scrabble.
A word game that sounds like Scrabble? Yeah, probably.
And the court ruled
in favor of Scramble.
Yeah, that it was okay to call it Scramble. So, I don't know. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Does anyone care?
It's really weird with... I mean, I remember this is one of the things that boggled my mind. Words with Friends, we used to play, or some variation.
Yeah, we've played a couple different versions.
And then I remember seeing in Target a while back, going through and seeing Words with Friends, the board game version. I'm like, you mean Scrabble?
Yeah, right.
Like there's certain things, like especially with the app culture, like because everyone makes the same app just with different names.
It is I just imagine the expression of the guy who realized for the first time that Scrabble's gameplay wasn't trademarked. They're like, wait, I could just make this same thing with a new name?
And then you get, what happens is what becomes really annoying is you get these overprotective things, such as, I don't know, maybe someone copywriting the word candy.
Right. No names named. No, I agree. Yeah, no, I definitely think it is a good thing because... Like you said, you can go down that slippery slope of... You
can, but at the same time, there's some... It's really weird. It's like... It can be good. It's good in this situation, but I can see it like...
It is, yeah, it's a tough... It's definitely a gray area because...
Copyright's this weird, unfun...
I will say, like, if Words with Friends was called Scramble, then I would definitely be... Oh. That's just
I still don't understand how they got away with it.
But at least that's a very different name. You're not confusing the two.
Right.
But at least Scramble is a little different. It's not just Scrabble with an M, even though it is Scrabble with an M. Those are at least. So we're actually filming this a day earlier than we usually do. And we're probably going to start releasing these a day earlier than we usually do. So if you're wondering why if something happens tomorrow that we didn't talk about, that's why.
But we're only saying this on this episode.
Yeah, we won't talk about that ever again. But yeah, I don't know. We could. I know there's some stuff that we wanted to discuss.
There is.
Unless there was any Kickstarters to caught your eye this week or not.
I have to admit, I haven't actually looked this much this week. Have you?
There was one thing. There was one thing I had a reminder for that was like a game about impressions.
Remember, if you got a reminder for it, it's going to be done before this episode airs.
Well, yeah, no, I think it's already done. I mainly wanted to mention it just because I thought it was kind of weird and funny because it was a game about doing impressions of celebrities, which I thought sounded funny, but it was terrible. They had no description of the rules. Like, it was really bad, and nobody funded it. Didn't get funded at all. But I just reminded myself because it was sad. It sounded like a good concept. Someone should make it anyway. There was another one that I thought sounded cool though. I'm gonna find it really quick. That I didn't even look at, but it sounded interesting. It's called 10 Minutes to Kill. So first of all, I just love the concept because
sounds really familiar.
It's a deduction game, 2 to 4 players that plays in about 10 minutes. And it's like there's different.
It has to play in 10 minutes. I swear to God, if it hits that 11-minute mark, we can't play.
It's basically like an assassin game, and you're going around the board trying to figure out who's who and who you're trying to kill and stuff. But I don't know. It sounded cool. It's French.
Are you looking at Kickstarter right now?
Yeah, I'm looking. Well, that's the page. If you want to see the actual.
I'm just curious. Ooh, the artwork's interesting.
Yeah, we'll put up a thing for it. But yeah, I love the idea of a short game, and the theme is right up my alley.
First of all, I think what at least I've noticed is anything with time games like usually actually become very fun because analysis paralysis is hard to happen.
I don't know if this is actually timed. It has some form of.
Oh, I assumed it was because
I think it's like based on the number of moves or something. It's not a strict timer.
Okay,
I could be wrong.
Never mind, because then it will
Yeah.
take forever. Because they'll be like,
Who with us it will?
then I'll be like, I got my move, and Jonathan, you'll be like, everyone left. It's the next day.
Kickstarter Pickstarter Cash Edition.
This is I've been waiting actually for this one to come up again. It's called Healer Blades, Defenders of Soma. The reason is because what these guys did, which is really cool.
You're saying this was up and then it went out?
Oh no, they did a first print kind of thing.
Okay.
This is the second one. They also did an RPG book, which I'll get to, which is how I sort of discovered this. They pretty much looked at all diseases and cures, and made it like detailed.
In real life.
Yeah, like
Okay.
actual ones, and made actually monsters based off of them. So like if something gave you a high temperature and also maybe like it would have fire breath and then also like poison you or something, like they actually would base them all on how the disease would act in your body. And the same thing with the cures.
Huh. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I got my friend the RPG book, and for Christmas and stuff, and it's really cool. You flip through and it like explains the monsters, like I said, diseases. So this is one I didn't even know it came up. So I'm gonna have to look into this because last time it was really cool. I mean, and the artwork it looks amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, guys. Defenders, Healing Blade, Defenders of Soma, and 10 Minutes to Kill. Kickstarter, Pickstarter. We did it. Okay, we had something we wanted to discuss.
Right. A while ago, before we restructured everything, we were thinking about
Back in the
top
old
of the week,
days.
and you sort of half-heartedly joked, said, "I got inserts because I want to talk about inserts."
No, I was only half joking.
No, that's why I said half-hearted.
I really wanted to talk about inserts.
And recently, after dealing with some actually custom inserts, I've actually realized this is something I think that does need to be discussed.
Well, I think we briefly touched on it when we did our storage topic a long time ago.
But I think let's.
Well, the reason that I was bringing it up is because recently I got new shelves, and I've been trying to fit everything. And in doing so, I've been going through games, putting expansions into bases and bagging things, and really discovering that a lot of games that I've been keeping the inserts in, I've just decided I need to rip them out because they take up so much space and they're just usually useless.
Well, yeah, I think some games, for example, Mansions of Madness. In fact, even without expansions in there, I do have 2 expansions, but they're the ones in the boxes, so don't count. They have their own box. I've taken it out because it's just a pain because you can't really keep the figures because it's like done. It's like this one. Just
we've talked about Fantasy Flight and their.
But I actually have
the Valley.
I've looked into buying. They make custom inserts.
Yes.
And I think it's helpful. In fact, for certain games, I actually think it's a must now. So hear me out. I'm going to show you the two. There's 2 kinds. The first kind here I have is Among the Stars. I got. It's actually my first one. If I can
Are these all from the same company?
No, they're actually 2 different companies.
Oh, that's even better. We get show a little variety.
This one's from the Broken Token, as you can see here. What this one is, you can put everything in here, but you still have to take it all out. Sorry.
I wasn't sure if we could see it or not.
To play the game, which works for this one. There isn't too much to it. The insert for this was absolutely terrible, especially when you have all these different cards, and they have different decks. Like this is the special deck. You're only supposed to use a certain number of those, and of course your cubes here now are nice.
Yeah.
So this is really helpful for any game that has a lot of pieces. And that thing didn't go in, but I'll just put that aside for now.
And it's broken.
No, it's not broken.
That's why they call it broken token. That's not why they call it that. Don't sue us.
Games like this one I'm pulling out.
Oh boy.
I think are required for this kind of Eldritch Horror. Now, if you played any game like Eldritch Horror, Arkham Horror, you've known it takes about at least 30 minutes to set up if you're fast. Now this one.
It's like opening the Ark.
Yes, it is.
Face is gonna melt.
Look away, Jonathan.
It's too late.
This one's from Daedalus. It was a Kickstarter.
Daedalus.
Yep, I think I'm saying it right.
Yes.
What I like about this one is I actually can pretty much, we choose a hero, choose a villain, give everyone their starting stuff, and I don't have to really take much out of here. I can still draw from here.
Can they? I want to tilt it without them because it looks so nice.
Well, I just need to take this one out. That's the one that's gonna fall. The little ticket boat.
The little ticket boat. Yeah. And it's even has little tentacle design for the game.
It takes a. Well, it takes pretty much. It took me a whole day to make sure to glue it all together and stuff.
But like you said,
it's
the
worth
fact
the
that
effort. And
you can. It's almost like the game is set up right in the box.
Yeah, and I can because right before I actually built this, we played Eldritch Horror. I remember just feeling so bad, okay, we got this out. Do we have everything out? Is everything? Now I know where everything is, and I can easily adjust. Now, the big problem, which they ran into, I actually have the old insert. They made this insert when, what was
Before
Mountains of Madness, but the first one.
After Forsaken Lore.
Yes. So Mountains of Madness does not fit with this. They made a new one, which you can get, it comes halfway through the box. It does fit Mountains of Madness. I'm not too worried about that because Mountain of Madness has its own box, so. But that's the big issue with inserts. But at the same, once again, I still think getting something like this for these games is almost a must. Because even if you have to take maybe a couple of the decks out, having something like this, which separates all the brain and heart pieces. Because I remember when you were playing, you were you were the one in charge when we played, and you were just having trouble.
And every time someone's like, I need 3 of this, and I'm like, give me 40 minutes. Which bag is which?
And I think that will just bring a lot more enjoyment to these games, which not only is the setup long, often the game itself is long.
Well, because that's half the determined. Is that a word? Determined? That's half the reason you don't want to play it is because it's you want to play this game? Well, you should have asked me 45 mintes ago, and then we could play it.
Yeah, no, you think about, it's more you want to play this? Well, we'll set it up for next game night because you have to have a date.
Right.
Arkham's still like that. I haven't found one because I don't think anyone could. I mean, Dominion's probably like that too because they're already so big. I would love for someone to make just an actual chest for Arkham where I can really already have all the location decks in a slot,
Yeah. Yeah, if anyone out there has gotten these or anyone listening or watching.
First of all, let me say, I understand why Fantasy Flight doesn't put this in. It's a big price.
Yeah, I mean, at least with the wooden version. Yeah.
But I do feel certain games just do a really lazy job with their cardboard inserts.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even include it in a way.
No, I agree. A lot of times I think you're better off without it.
What I think they should do for some of them, instead of making that one, is you see how this sort of layers in a little bit?
Yeah.
If you can look, you'll see the edge, the box goes in. If the entire inside had a coating, like a picture, and then you have all the pieces in there. Because odds are we're going to have a whole bunch of baggings and just throw everything in there anyways.
At this point, yeah. Or at least maybe you just put if you need packing the foam things to keep everything together.
Yeah, no. I mean, certain games have gone above and beyond the call. Smash Up.
Right. Yeah, if you can come up with another box for it.
No, I think that works very well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's another game I can't remember that did something similar to that in Smash Up.
Cutthroat Caverns.
Cutthroat Caverns. Did you put all that in there?
Yeah.
How'd it feel?
I loved that. Yeah. No, that was amazing to get all the Cutthroat Caverns stuff in the nice big box. It really was. Because before I had to just float around.
So certain games I don't expect. I mean, I would be shocked if they made an Arkham Horror. The Arkham Horror big box.
Yeah, they're not going to do it.
No, you couldn't fit it.
Fantasy Flight never does stuff like that.
Well, it's because usually there's so much already in it, it's hard. But something like Cutthroat Smash Up where you can theoretically do it. Legendary could almost do it like that because it's only cards.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, for us, for both the DC and your Legendary, I made us custom ones that work.
Yeah, we need to like tweet pictures of those.
Yeah,
One
I
secret-
thought we did a couple.
Maybe.
But what I like about that is, I know, especially with yours, because I remember the old legendaries, we always had like maybe an Iceman floating around somewhere accidentally.
Right.
And it was a pain to, like, you had to sort it. And now you can literally, because I have the inserts, I mean, other people do much better ones that have like the printed symbols and
Oh,
names.
yeah.
But still for you, it's color code.
Still pretty good.
You can be like, okay, these are all the heroes. I can grab da-da-da, and it's much easier for you to put back.
Yeah. By the way, weird choice of hero to add to the game, da-da-da.
I know, right?
Like, he was only in one comic.
Well, you know what? Truth be told, there could actually be a hero.
Oh, yeah, he's out there.
Now.
That's our new mascot. But I think we should probably wrap up.
Yeah. So, from what we've seen, at least in my view, a lot of inserts recently have been. I just don't even think they should include them.
I'm declaring it war on inserts.
War on cheap inserts.
Yes.
Like certain, like I feel like though I should mention this, the ones who are the biggest offenders would be the Ameritrash games.
Right.
Like Ticket to Ride
the
has
more
a decent,
pieces you have. But then again, something like Terra Mystica or Kanban,
That's true.
heavy Euro games can be pretty bad.
How long did you spend on Kanban?
I spent for like 45 minutes. No, it was at like an hour, just taking everything out and putting it in bags, and then I just fell asleep. I couldn't even, or even something like Agricola. Like
And-
there are those
yeah.
ones.
No, and it comes to, I know it's a price for these two inserts, that's why I only have two.
Right. It's for special games.
No, but like I said, like Eldritch Horror, I could not think it was such a better investment. Because just having that just nice and ready, like the next time we play that now, it's nice just be everyone to just be able to go for it.
Yeah.
So we actually get.
Yeah, I want to play it just looking at it.
No, that's the thing. Like now you set up, like I can
like,
actually set up a game.
Let's
and just,
do it. Yeah, let's go. Let's right now.
So,
live on camera.
I think we're gonna see more Kickstarters hopefully in the future, because I know there was actually one for Dominion a while ago. I remember when I realized it already happened. So when I showed our friend who actually has them all, he was like, "What? No."
Or there's definitely be not a lot of companies would be able to swing it, but if you could buy like spend an extra $20 for the like deluxe version that has all the stuff, all the inserts, the good insert built in.
Would you spend an extra $20?
It would be. It really depends on the game. Like if it's something I knew I was gonna like, that's the thing is a hard sell because most people don't get to try the games before they buy them.
Well, I think for me the big thing would be the inserts. I'd have to see what the deluxe insert feels and looks like.
I guess a better
It
idea
could end up being terribly cheap.
would just be a store that just sells the different inserts, like these guys.
Yeah,
like
no,
these
that's why
guys.
they're beautiful. Those two,
Yeah.
Daedalus and Broken Token, check them out.
Yeah.
There's plenty more, and I think they're a great addition to the board game community because they're really needed for some of these games.
Yeah. So if you have any of your own that you know out there that
Maybe you made your own.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We love pictures of this.
Yeah, send us pictures, send us whatever, homemade even better if you have experience with these guys or other companies. You can leave a comment on this video.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. Mm-hmm. You can also leave a review if you're on iTunes, but don't ask us questions or anything there. We won't read it. Or you can send us an email. Our email address is rollforcrit@gmail.com.
And of course, there's Twitter, which you can reach us at Roll4Crit, or our personal Twitters. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's the site itself.
The site itself, rollforcrit.com, where we sell not inserts, but games that come with cheap inserts, such as Eldritch Horror and Among the Stars.
Mm-hmm. As well as many more games.
Many, many more. Great prices plus.
Plus, we have our more news reviews, our other podcast videos, or playbacks, more different kinds of videos to come.
Yeah, last week we did a concept video, which is a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it,
Oh, yeah.
that's a great one. And later this week, there's going to be another Magic 101 video for you to watch.
And before we go, we also want to say, leave comments on what you think of our new style. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you want us to switch things around? Let us know.
Yeah. We would love to hear from you. Anyway, that will do it for this week's episode. I'm Jonathan Estes.
I'm Will Keeler, and this is Roll for Crit.